Evening News.
All right, looking good tonight.
It was cold tonight, 45, the overnight low.
Not bad. That's our time.
Evening News is next. We hope to see you at
6. Over the river and through the snow, Americans head out of town under tight security.
Our military, our intelligence, and our Homeland Security agencies are on the case.
Also tonight, calls for peace after Chicago police released video of the fatal shooting of a black teenager by a white cop. How the hits Frank Gifford took on the football field affected his long-term health. And a carpenter helps kids build a better life.
What do you think about the chair?
I think that is perfect.
This is the CBS Evening News with Scott Pelley.
Good evening. Scott's off tonight. I'm Jim Axelrod. Today, as nearly 47 million people began heading out of town for Thanksgiving, President Obama took the unusual step of going on national television to assure them they'll be safe. With ISIS threatening Paris-like attacks in this country, the president said every element of America's security apparatus is, quote, on the case. Here's Homeland Security correspondent Jeff Pegues.
I want the American people to know is that we are taking every possible step to keep our homeland safe.
Flanked by his national security team, today, President Obama assured Americans that while there was no credible threat, law enforcement officers across the nation were working overtime to keep it that way. For the 25 million people expected to use airports over the next few days, that security will be visible, like here at Los Angeles International Airport, where heavily armed officers are on patrol. But nationwide, some airport police officers complain security is blind to the so-called insider threat. At many airports, some workers do not routinely go through security. The American Alliance of Airport Police Officers is calling for mandatory screening for all airport employees. Marshall McLean is with the organization.
You and I, when we travel on an airplane, we all have to be screened. Why not have employees screened as well?
The Department of Homeland Security says it is reducing access points for employees and looking into mandatory screening. Secretary Jay Johnson.
We're evaluating whether more is necessary right now. That's something that I and TSA have been focused on as recently as today.
Several thousand officers will be on duty in New York City along the Thanksgiving Day parade route. On the rails, heavily armed police are along Amtrak routes in the Northeast. To show the system is safe, Secretary Johnson took the train this afternoon. But the bottom line seems to be that Americans should go about their business and enjoy the holidays. But Jim, law enforcement is advising people to be vigilant, especially in public spaces.
Jeff, thank you. 42 million Americans will be traveling by automobile. Transportation correspondent Chris Van Cleve now on what they'll be facing.
It's expected to be the busiest Thanksgiving holiday on the road since 2007. Aaron Mizar is driving from Rochester, New York to Durham, North Carolina.
Our GPS all of a sudden added another hour onto our travel time, and so that was super unexpected.
Just as those 42 million Americans hit the road, the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration reported a sharp spike in traffic deaths for the first half of 2015. 16,225 people died, up more than 8% over last year. If the trend holds for the year, that would be the sharpest percentage increase since 1946. The biggest reason? Almost half of those killed in passenger vehicles were not wearing their seatbelts. Backseat passengers are a particular concern as they're less likely to buckle up, and 22 states do not require it. This dash camera shows they are still very much at risk in a crash. Dr. Jim Hedlund studied backseat passenger behavior.
It takes a second. You don't have to think about it. It doesn't cost you anything. It's cheap, it's easy, and it may save your life.
Plummeting gas prices, the lowest on Thanksgiving since 2008, may also be a factor in the rise in traffic deaths, says AAA's Tom Calcani.
The more people that are on the road and the more people that are driving longer distances, the greater the risk.
One trend AAA has noticed: more people leaving on Tuesday. Jim, AAA hopes that makes the drive on Wednesday less terrible.
Chris Van Cleve on this Getaway Wednesday. Thank you. From the Rockies to the Great Lakes, snow, ice, and rain are expected to create some rough sledding on the roads tomorrow. Overnight, snow fell across the West. Carter Evans shows us where it really piled up.
In California's Sierra Nevada, a foot of new snow made driving treacherous.
So dangerous out here, you really want to get your chains on so you can make, the safest drive up there.
The pre-winter storm covered roads in Oregon and brought 50-mile-per-hour wind near Lake Tahoe. Further east in Colorado, the wind snapped utility poles. And in Washington state, hurricane-force winds splintered trees and knocked out power, according to resident Vin Chawla.
It was rocking. We had probably 3 or 4 large branches hit the house, and I went outside, looked up, and saw branches flying, hitting neighbors' roofs.
Along the California coast, king tides up to 8 feet deep flooded San Francisco streets, and huge waves pounded coastal buildings in San Diego, providing a scary show for diners in this restaurant. But misery for some is paradise for others. California ski resorts are seeing 3 times their normal snowfall and their earliest opening in 10 years. Carter Evans, CBS News, Los Angeles.
In Chicago tonight, there are calls for calm following the release of a graphic video showing a white police officer fatally shooting an African-American teenager. This happened 13 months ago, but the officer was not charged until yesterday. Here's Dean Reynolds.
2 more police dashcam videos of the October 2014 incident have just emerged. And while neither sheds much light on the shooting, one shows a different angle. 17-year-old Laquan McDonald is on the ground dying from 16 bullet wounds as the police, including the officer who did the shooting, stand around. The release of police videos sent protesters into the streets overnight and this afternoon. City officials and McDonald's relatives have called for calm, but there is frustration that it took more than 400 days to charge the cop, Jason Van Dyke.
Do you think the powers that be wanted this case to just go away?
I think so.
Howard Brookins is on the city council.
When the victims appear to be underprivileged or minorities, that it takes a long time for justice to come their way.
For now, Officer Van Dyke is being held at the Cook County Jail. His lawyer is Dan Herbert.
He's really fearful for his what's going to happen to his wife and kids, but he's hanging in there.
Van Dyke has had 18 citizen complaints against him in 14 years, including allegedly excessive force and racial epithets. None resulted in discipline. And Herbert says the tapes don't tell the entire story. His client, he said, felt McDonald made a, quote, threatening gesture.
Can I see those threatening gestures if I looked at the tape closely?
You can't see what my client saw.
Van Dyke will next be in court on Monday when a judge will decide whether to grant him bail or keep him in jail, Jim, in the custody of the Cook County Sheriff.
Dean Reynolds covering for us tonight in Chicago. Thank you. The U.S. commander in Afghanistan said today American forces violated the rules of engagement when they mistakenly bombed a hospital run by Doctors Without Borders last month. The airstrike in the northern city of Kunduz killed at least 30 civilians. More now from David Martin.
It was one of the worst accidents of the Afghan war, and it was caused by what General John Campbell described as a perfect storm of mistakes committed by America's elite Special Operations Forces.
This was a tragic but avoidable accident caused primarily by human error.
After nearly 5 days of nonstop fighting in the city of Kunduz, American commandos were holed up in a police station with Afghan troops. The Afghans requested a strike on a nearby government building, which had been taken over by Taliban fighters, and an AC-130 gunship was called in by the American ground commander. The gunship was given the coordinates of the government building, but its targeting system zeroed in on an open field instead. The aircrew visually identified the closest structure that resembled the government building they were supposed to strike. They did not know it, but that building was in fact the hospital run by Doctors Without Borders. Before opening fire, the gunship provided the coordinates of the target to a command center at Bagram Airfield. The command center knew those coordinates belonged to the hospital, which was on a no-strike list. But nobody put 2 and 2 together. The gunship opened fire. Someone from Doctors Without Borders called Bagram to report the attack, but by the time the command center realized the mistake, the gunship had already ceased fire. All this happened at a time when the American combat role in Afghanistan had supposedly ended. And under the new rules of engagement, the American ground commander did not even have the authority to call in that strike. Some of the commanders involved in the strike have been relieved of their duties and now face possible disciplinary action. Jim?
David Martin at the Pentagon, thank you. In the northern Iraqi city of Sinjar, Kurdish fighters have uncovered a network of tunnels used by ISIS fighters to survive U.S.-led airstrikes. This video reveals an underground city with electricity, plenty of food, and stacks of ammunition. All of this was built up during the year ISIS controlled Sinjar. Kurdish forces retook the city 2 weeks ago. One of the 2 Russian airmen shot down after venturing into Turkish airspace yesterday was rescued today by Syrian allies. The other was killed by militants on the ground. The survivor denied Turkey's claim that it gave repeated warnings before firing on the Russian plane. He says he never heard one. Holly Williams joins us now from Istanbul. Holly, a lot of finger pointing, but for the time being, at least, it seems as though cooler heads are prevailing.
That's right, Jim. This looked like a very dangerous situation just 24 hours ago. We had an American NATO ally shooting down a Russian warplane after it allegedly strayed for just 17 seconds into Turkish airspace. We had a dead Russian pilot, and we had the Russian president, Vladimir Putin, threatening serious consequences. Today, though, it is very clear that all of the players in this drama, including the US and NATO, want to avoid a conflict. The Turkish president, Recep Tayyip Erdogan, said today that he did not want to see an escalation, and Russia said that it would not wage war against Turkey. So a crisis has been averted this time, but that doesn't solve the underlying problem, which is the Syrian civil war. The US, Russia, Turkey, Iran, and other countries have all taken sides in Syria's war, and they are all now being drawn deeper and deeper into the conflict and perhaps closer to a conflict with each other.
But for the time being, no escalation. Holly Williams reporting for us tonight from Turkey. Thank you. Today, the family of the late football great Frank Gifford revealed he had a degenerative brain disease known as CTE. An autopsy confirmed it. Gifford died in August at the age of 84. CTE can result from repeated hits on the football field. Anna Werner tells us Gifford suffered plenty of them, but one in particular stood out.
It was one of the most devastating hits in NFL history. Future Hall of Famer Frank Gifford was leveled, catching a pass against the Philadelphia Eagles. The play, which came to be known as the hit, sidelined Gifford for more than a season. The discovery that he had the disease, chronic traumatic encephalopathy, or CTE, confirmed what his family had long suspected after Gifford's 13-year career taking numerous hits. He died of natural causes. Wife Kathy Lee Gifford.
He never wanted to lose his dignity. He'd seen so much of that through the years, and that's what I had prayed, that the Lord would take him the way he wanted to go.
Researchers at Boston University told us today that 88 of the 92 former NFL players they've examined suffered from CTE. That's 96%. Dr. Robert Cantu heads Boston University's CTE Center.
Sometimes it can be one horrific single injury, but mostly it's repetitive head injuries.
Both the New York Giants and the NFL said today they appreciate the Gifford family's efforts to help advance understanding of CTE. Jim, the NFL said it is not waiting for science, but is working now to improve the safety of the game.
Anna Werner, thank you very much. Still ahead on the CBS Evening News this Thanksgiving Eve. Let the shopping begin. America gets ready to hit the stores. And at the White House, a foul is hit, and the president calls him safe.
When you've got a house full of guests on the way and a cold with sinus pressure, you need fast relief. Alka-Seltzer Plus Severe Sinus Congestion and Cough Liquid Gels rush relief to your tough symptoms to put you back in control.
Coming.
Alka-Seltzer Plus Sinus.
Hey, Mark. How you feeling?
Don't ask. This is what it can be like to have shingles. A painful, blistering rash. I never thought this would happen to me. If you had chickenpox, the shingles virus is already inside you. 1 in 3 people will get shingles in their lifetime. I'm going to go back to the eye doctor tomorrow. It's pretty close to my eye.
I don't know how you do it.
Talk to your doctor or pharmacist today about a vaccine that can help prevent shingles.
The way I see it, you have two choices. The easy way or the hard way. You could choose a card that limits where you earn bonus cash back. Or you could make things easier on yourself. That's right, the Quicksilver card from Capital One. With Quicksilver, you earn unlimited 1.5% cash back on every purchase everywhere. So let's try this again. What's in your wallet?
You get used to sweaty odors in your car. You think it smells fine, but your passengers smell this. Eliminate odors you've gone nose blind to for up to 30 days with the Febreze Car Vent Clip. Break out the Febreze and breathe happy.
Salonpas salutes you. People working hard to improve the world. You inspired us to improve these. Salonpas pain relieving patches. 20% larger with better adhesion and more medicine to fight pain than ever before. Salonpas, the patch you love, improved.
It's become a Thanksgiving tradition. Most major retailers will be open tomorrow so Americans can start their holiday shopping. Of course, many are open 24/7 online. This Amazon facility near Trenton, New Jersey, is what the online retailer calls a fulfillment center, and the holiday rush is already in full swing there. In order to keep up, Amazon has hired 100,000 extra seasonal workers. One of those is 20-year-old Jameer Ibazin, a college student looking to save up money before he heads back to school in January. The money you make here, what are you going to use it for?
I'm going to use it to pay back school.
So this is to make money to pay off some loans?
Yes.
Amazon's hiring is a 25% increase from last year, but they are the exception. Overall, holiday hiring is expected to be just slightly higher than last season. FedEx is adding 55,000 workers, roughly 5% more than 2014. Major retailers like Macy's and Target will add the same amount of workers as last year. Andrew Challenger is the vice president of the employment firm Challenger Gray and Christmas.
Because so much of the holiday spending is now being done online, the jobs are changing. Now more of the jobs, instead of being in the front room, are moving into shipping and handling, into warehouses, and into the actual delivery of those products.
Jeanette Washburn, a mother of 6, is working in the Amazon warehouse for the first time. So it's good to have a little extra cash.
Absolutely. To do something that's just maybe a little out of the ordinary for the household.
Do you want to do this full time?
You know, if that was offered to me, I would consider it, definitely. But I'll be back next season for sure.
Last year, more than 20,000 of Amazon's seasonal workers were offered full-time positions after the holiday rush was over. President Obama continued a Thanksgiving tradition today, granting pardons to a couple of turkeys named Honest and Abe. That one is Abe. The president thanked his daughters, Malia and Sasha, for joining him for the ceremony. He said, quote, "They do this solely because it makes me feel good, not because they actually think that this is something I should be doing." The Pope shares his biggest safety concern with our Alan Pizzi as he visits Africa. We think you'll be surprised. Next.
Believe it. AT&T and DirecTV are now one, which means you can watch in the house, in a tree house, or even in Miss Pepper Pie's house. Pause in your PJs and hit play during a PB&J. Nice. And enjoy some cartoons instead of listening to Dad's cartoons.
Meet you all the way.
Get the best of both worlds. DirecTV at home and 2 wireless lines from DirecTV and AT&T.
If you could see your cough,
it's just a cough.
You'd see how often you cough all day, and so would everyone else. New Robitussin 12 Hour delivers fast, powerful cough relief that lasts up to 12 hours. New Robitussin 12 Hour cough relief, because it's never just a cough.
What's your dog food's first ingredient? Corn? Wheat? In new Purina One True Instant Grain-Free, real chicken is always number 1. No corn, wheat, or soy. Support your active dog's whole body health with Purina One.
I'm Chris Bosch. When I was sidelined with blood clots in my lung, it was serious. Fortunately, my doctor had a game plan.
treatment with Xarelto.
Hey, guys.
Hey, finally somebody I can look up to. Besides Arnie.
Xarelto is proven to treat and help reduce the risk of DVT and PE blood clots.
Xarelto is also proven to reduce the risk of stroke in people with AFib, not caused by a heart valve problem.
For people with AFib currently well managed on warfarin, there is limited information on how Xarelto and warfarin compare in reducing the risk of stroke.
You know, I tried warfarin, but the blood testing and dietary restrictions...
Don't get me started on that. I didn't have to.
We started on Xarelto.
Nice pass.
Safety first.
Like all blood thinners, don't stop taking Xarelto without talking to your doctor, as this may increase your risk of a blood clot or stroke. While taking, you may bruise more easily, and it may take longer for bleeding to stop. Xarelto may increase your risk of bleeding if you take certain medicines. Xarelto can cause serious and, in rare cases, fatal bleeding. Get help right away for unexpected bleeding, unusual bruising, or tingling. If you have had spinal anesthesia while on Xarelto, watch for back pain or any nerve or muscle-related signs or symptoms. Do not take Xarelto if you have an artificial heart valve or abnormal bleeding. Tell your doctor before all planned medical or dental procedures. Before starting Xarelto, tell your doctor about any kidney, liver, or bleeding problems.
You know, Xarelto is the #1 prescribed blood thinner in its class.
That's a big win.
It is for me.
With Xarelto, there is no regular blood monitoring and no known dietary restrictions.
Treatment with Xarelto
Was the right move for us. Ask your doctor about Xarelto.
Put some extra holiday money in your pocket with $500 from News Channel 5. Watch to win a $500 cash gift card tonight on News Channel 5 at 6. Mornings move fast.
There's some sort of crash at the Fern Avenue overpass.
Feed your need to know with News Channel 5 this morning.
I would certainly suggest you take Riley Parkway.
Up when you are and updating all morning long.
Police investigating a stabbing.
News Channel 5 this morning. Watch on any screen starting tomorrow at 4 a.m.
Pope Francis arrived in Kenya today, his first stop on his first ever trip to Africa. CBS News correspondent Alan Pizzi is traveling with the Pope. Alan, the spiritual leader of the world's 1.2 billion Catholics, is now in an area where there's been brutal fighting between Christians and Muslims. What's he hoping to accomplish?
Well, Jim, I think the first thing he wants to do is bring the message of peace and reconciliation. He has said that Christians and Muslims can all sit down together. They should sit down together. Violence is wrong. He'll also talk about the environment, but that all comes back to his message that, deprivation leads to terrorism. If you've got people who are deprived, they've got reasons to fight, they've got reasons for ethnic differences, then that's a worry, Jim.
Now, early next week, his itinerary takes him to the Central African Republic, which is an active war zone. Does he seem at all concerned about his own safety?
As usual, the answer to that is no. He's using open Pope-mobiles, and Vatican officials, when you ask him if he's wearing body armor, laugh as if that's preposterous. On the plane today, I asked if he was worried about the trip, and he said, to tell you the truth, the only thing I'm worried about is mosquitoes. When I said, me too, he went like this and said, did you bring your spray? And smiled. And he didn't have to bring his because one of the journalists gave him 2 cans, Jim.
Alan Pizzi covering for us tonight in Nairobi, Kenya. Alan, thank you. In a moment, a carpenter and his young apprentices building a special bond.
This portion of the CBS Evening News is sponsored by Voya Financial, changing the way you think of retirement.
Putting your finances in order. It's one of the best ways to start planning for retirement. At Voya, we can help you organize your savings and investments. So when the time comes, you'll have that orange money set aside for all the things you want to do. Like taking that road trip, volunteering, or simply spoiling your grandkids. Isn't that what it's all about? Start today, be ready tomorrow. Get organized at Voya.com.
Dave, I'm sorry to interrupt. I gotta take a sick day tomorrow.
Dads don't take sick days. Dads take NyQuil Severe, the nighttime sniffling, sneezing, coughing, aching, fever, best sleep with a cold medicine.
My mom and I have the same hands, same eyes, same laugh. And since she's had moderate Alzheimer's disease, I've discovered we have the same fighting spirit, too. That's why I asked her doctor about new once-a-day Nemzaric.
New Nemzaric is approved for moderate to severe Alzheimer's disease in patients who are currently taking and can continue to take certain doses of both Namenda and donepezil. New Nemzaric is the first and only treatment to combine 2 proven Alzheimer's medicines into a single once-a-day capsule that works 2 ways to fight the symptoms of moderate to severe Alzheimer's disease. Once-a-day Nemzaric may improve cognition and overall function and may slow the worsening of symptoms for a while. Nemzeric does not change how the disease progresses. It shouldn't be taken by anyone allergic to memantine, donepezil, piperidine, or any of the ingredients in Nemzeric. Before starting treatment, tell the doctor about any medical conditions they have, including heart or lung problems, seizures, stomach ulcers, bladder, kidney, or liver problems. Tell the doctor if the patient will have any procedures involving anesthesia, which may cause muscle problems. Other serious side effects may occur, including slow heartbeat and fainting, increased stomach acid, which may raise the chance of ulcers and bleeding, nausea and vomiting, difficulty passing urine, seizures, and worsening of lung problems. The most common side effects associated with Nemzeric are headache, diarrhea, dizziness, loss of appetite, and bruising.
Mom and I share a lot of moments, and we're making the most of each one.
Ask your doctor if new Nemzeric is right for your loved one.
Whatever you're doing, plan well and enjoy life. Or as we say at United Healthcare Insurance Company, go long. Consider an AARP Medicare Supplement Insurance Plan insured by United Healthcare Insurance Company.
Always have a plan.
Go long.
I brought in some protein to get us moving.
I'm new Ensure Active High Protein. I help you recharge with nutritious energy and strength. I'll take that.
New Ensure Active High Protein. 16 grams of protein and 23 vitamins and minerals. Ensure. Take life in.
Fact. Advil pain relievers are used by more households than any other leading brand. To treat their aches and pains, more people reach for Advil. Relief doesn't get any better than this. Advil.
We're learning new details about the criminal past of the Kentucky man accused of murdering 7-year-old Gabby Doolin. A look at Timothy Madden's case file next.
We end tonight with a man who has a special talent for helping kids with special needs. Turns out they're a perfect fit. Here's Elaine Quijano.
Remember how we walk, right? Slow and controlled.
Michael Constalet has been a physical therapist in the New York public school system for 8 years, a job he pursued because of his late father.
My father had a neuromuscular condition, and growing up becoming a physical therapist, I realized he had a much more difficult, challenging life than I ever knew.
His father inspired him in another way, too. He was a carpenter. Growing up, Constalet would help his dad build things in his shop, a skill he now brings into the school.
It started with repairing a wheelchair or building a balance beam, and it developed into, I could build you a desk.
Constalet says the chairs kids use can have a big impact on how they learn. So he started working out of a makeshift workshop in the basement of a Brooklyn elementary school, where he builds customized furniture out of salvaged scraps of wood. How can school furniture affect learning?
For a child who has balance and coordination issues, they're trying to learn to the best of their ability, solve a math problem or do a reading assignment. If your feet aren't on the floor, you can't be there mentally.
Constalet has created more than 80 original pieces. Good morning, Angie. Like this staircase to help Angie Cruz get off the bus, a lunch tray holder for students confined to wheelchairs, and a modified classroom chair for Hassan Mahmoud, who has a hard time sitting in a typical one.
He loves the fact that he's sitting in a special chair, but nobody treats him any differently.
To give the students a sense of ownership, he enlists them to help build their piece of furniture.
What do you think about the chair?
I think that is perfect.
In using these pieces of discarded wood, Michael Constalet sees what others can sometimes miss: limitless possibilities. Elaine Quijano, CBS News, New York.
And that's the CBS Evening News. For Scott Pelley and all of us here at CBS News, I'm Jim Axelrod in New York. Thanks for joining us. We wish you a happy and safe Thanksgiving.
The biggest names in politics are on America's most important news broadcasts. The best political reporting is CBS News Original Reporting.
You may be working on your holiday wish list, but so are thieves. Tonight, how Metro Police will use officers on the ground and in the air to keep you safe.
Helping companies on sites like Kickstarter is a new way to invest, but scammers are already targeting those who don't know the rules.
This teen is putting together hundreds of gifts for people she's never met, and she's making them all by hand.
Christmas isn't always about receiving, it's about giving as well.
Timothy Madden is charged with murdering 7-year-old Gabby Doolin. Tonight, News Channel 5 discovers a long list of crimes in his criminal file.
From your news and information leader, this is News Channel 5 at 6.
It's a crime which has rocked a southern Kentucky town to its